Alright guys, I'm back with the next part here. This time I'm going to be doing the rogue review. So first up we have Blade Cultist, 1 mana 1/2, combo gain +1/+1. So this is obviously the new Defiance Ring Leader which I have opened here. Um, do I think this is stronger than Defiance Ring Leader? The answer is yes. It's just because the bodies are slightly bigger. Um, of course there's the argument being made that that's a 3-card combo and this is a not this, but this is a 2-card combo. So um, technically this is a bit less efficient maybe. The only thing to note is that the scrub actually gets pinged. So generally I think this is better. Do I think this card is actually constructed viable? The answer is maybe. Just because it costs 1, so it's pretty easy to combo, and it's also a really easy way to activate a combo. So they might see some kind of tempo-ish deck, but we'll see how it goes. In Arena, I think this card is fair. Like, it's not great, but it's not terrible either. If you can coin it out, then it's great. Right, so next we have Shadow Strike. 3 mana, deal 5 damage to an undamaged character. So I guess technically, because it's its character, you could smash somebody's face in for the first 5 damage. I don't know. Um, I think this card is okay because it does 5 damage, which I have mentioned in like all the previous videos. It's kind of like a sweet spot. Um, because 4 to 5 is basically a huge range. That's why Death Bite was really powerful. Because you could kill a 5 health minion with the second one, but it's same time I was pretty weak on 4 because you couldn't kill a 5 health minion immediately. So this kind of does that. It feels a bit too clunky, but at the same time it feels really powerful. Probably the closest thing I would compare this to, I guess the natural instinct is to compare it with Backstab just because it deals 1, but I think the closer comparison is it's kind of like an in-between of Flame Cannon and Fireball. I think it's more comparable to Fireball because generally you're gonna want it. I mean, you can play it in a way so that it does the 5 damage first and then kill it off later on with like a hero power, as opposed to the Fireball that does 6 outright. So this card is equally as flexible. Do I think it's constructed viable? I think no, but in Arena I think this card is really really solid. Right, next we have the South Sea Squid Face, 4 mana 4/4 Pirate. Death Rattle, give your weapon +2 attack. As this Pirate Rogue has never really been a thing as much as I tried to make it a thing. It was a lot of fun, but it's definitely not very competitive, so I don't think pirates are going to be a thing now, especially not in this class. So I think this card is pretty terrible. In Arena, this card is probably a little better just because you can leverage the hero power a little better in Arena as opposed to in Constructed. And in Arena, the pirate synergy is much more dominant than it is in Constructed. So I think this card is fair in Arena. Terrible in Constructed. Next we have Journey Below, 1 mana, discover a Death Rattle card. This card is insane in my opinion. Because it helps you combo cards like Eviscerate and whatnot. Let's just go back there. So you can combo things like Eviscerate fairly easily with Journey Below. I think you would definitely run this in the Death Rattle Rogue, which although it's getting some nerfs, is getting a few new cards as well. So whether it's actually better or worse, we'll see once the expansion is released. Because 2 of the main cards in Death Rattle Rogue is cycling out in the forms of the Rubian Eggs and the Haunted Creeper and the Nerubian Eggs, which is right here. So these 2 cards are exiting. So these cards could potentially replace them. The only problem is like you would have to get this 3rd one and then get the 2-drop Death Rattle, and then you can turn 3 with the Raptor, right? So again, this card might be really powerful, it might be really shitty. I think it's really powerful both in Arena and Constructed. Just because it generates a lot of value, and Death Rattle minions are always generally really good. Next we have Undercity Huckster, one of those new Death Rattles I was talking about. 2 mana 2/2, add a random class card of your opponent to class card to your hand from your opponent's class. So this is kind of like a Burgle, half a Burgle. Obviously, this card is way better than Burgle because it's always going to give you value, and it's body, a 2/2 body. And even though it's not a great body, it's still a body, and this will synergize really uh, well with the Raptor because you can get 2 cards, so it's kind of equivalent to a Burgle, but you get 2 bodies with it, and you don't lose the tempo as bad. You might lose some tempo with this one, but the Raptor will definitely make up for it. So, really powerful card. Expect this to see play in both Constructed and Arena fairly frequently. Next we have Fizzle Cup. 6 mana, draw a card, add 2 copies of it to your hand. Now this card has potential to be really insane and really terrible at the same time. The problem with this card is that I'm not sure what deck it's going to be good in, right? Because it's kind of like Cabalist's Tome from Mage, but um, it's clearly weaker, right? Because it doesn't give you 3 random spells, it just gives you 1 card from the deck and then 2 more of that. So in what scenarios is this actually really good here? I'm not really sure. With Oil Rogue bouncing out here, I guess it's okay if you get like a bunch of backstabs or maybe a bunch of Cold Bloods, if Cold Bloods become a thing. Deadly Points are pretty okay. Eviscerates is good. Gang Up can give you like this endless cycle of like whatever minion you want to do. So I guess the most immediate deck I can think of that this would see play is the um, Mill Rogue, but that's about it. But do I think it's really good in Mill Rogue? I don't think so. Do I think it's good in Constructed? No, because if it's going to be good, it's going to be good in Mill Rogue, and even then, I don't think this is better than Gang Up. So, pretty bad card. I'm not sure Gang Up is executed format though. That may be why they printed this card. No, not quite yet. But it will cycle out soon. So I guess this is why they're printing this card, just to play around with a replacement here. But overall, I think this card is just really, really bad. Next, we have Shadowcast. It's the most interesting and probably my favorite artwork for any of the cards released. 5 mana for 4 Battlecry. Choose a friendly minion, add a +1, add a 1/1 copy of that to your hand. It costs 1. So in theory, you could do the unlimited Shadowcaster thing, where it's kind of like you can just keep spawning with brand and stuff, and you have the Dread Steed effect, right? In case you guys don't know what Dread Steed is, let me just pull it up for you. It's basically a minion that can cycle infinite value. Now this is questionably better in the sense that if you can keep bouncing it, it's going to be really, really powerful. Because the Battlecry effect, so you can always just keep playing it, as opposed to a Dread Steed where it's a death rattle, so it can be silenced. This one can't be silenced, so you can just keep bouncing it and keep playing it here. Shadow Step and whatnot, so you get that same cycling ability. Again, this is objectively, rather subjectively better because these guys can be cleared by AoE. The Dread Steed can't. So ups and downs, but I think this card's really, really cool. I want to see what people do with this. Like if you can get things like Ragnaros and Sylvanas from this, it's going to be pretty, really insane. Next we have Blade of Cthulhu. This is probably the most powerful of the Cthulhu cards outside of the Druid one, which is the Taunt. 9 mana for 4, really bad stats. Battlecry, destroy a minion and add its attack to Cthulhu wherever it is. So the general assumption is that this card is terrible, but let's just do a really quick comparison here. The worst case scenario is it's a 1-card version of Sabotage without the combo or Eviscerate, right? So let's just say, for argument's sake, this is the more expensive card, so we're going to use this one, right? 5 mana. If you deduct 5 mana from this, it's basically a 4 mana 4/4, which is not necessarily horrendous. But add the ability that it buffs your Cthulhu by whatever attack. Can you imagine how much you could buff? Like if you hit a big minion, it's going to buff your attack more than any other card, right? Basically, if he has 4 attack, it's going to buff your Cthulhu more than any other single card, single buffing ability could do. And then you can always bounce this back, keep stabbing stuff with like the shadow step, right? Or you can even, if you really wanted to, even though it's cycling out, you could use this in while the Anuva ambusher. But yeah, you probably won't see that in constructed here. In constructed, you will see the shadow step. So this is the combo I see a lot, where you can just keep sniping minions for around 7 mana and keep buffing your Cthulhu. So yeah, I think this card is actually really powerful if you think of it that way. I suppose you can get the discount from Shadow Step. It's basically a assassinate plus a 2 mana 4/4, which is really insane. Maybe that's optimistic, but I think it's a really powerful card, and you'll definitely see playing Cthulhu Rogue. And lastly, we have the Rogue Legendary. Azariel Poison Pine, 4 mana 3/2, Death, Rattle, and Battlecry, add a random toxin to your hand. So this is kind of like the Toshli ability. Toshli, I believe, for 6 mana here. LM, so LMNOP, so different. Toshli ability, right? Where Toshli may be a bigger body, but he does cost more, and it adds the spare part. This one adds a toxin, which is basically a spare part, but better. I'm not sure if you can actually. Okay, they don't have the images on the first page, so it's not important. All you need to know is that toxins are better than spare parts, and this can come down a lot earlier than Toshli. The question is whether is this card better than Toshli? I'm inclined to say it's about equal. Toshli is just a really solid body though, 5/7, 6 mana 5/7 is really powerful. So in the decks that you play him, he's actually a really solid minion on its own. Then you double up with its ability. This card is not so much that case, but the toxins are just really powerful, and you can pull off a lot of combos with it. That I think that this card is probably good enough to see play in constructed. In arena, this card is really bad because nobody cares about 4 mana 3/2 because it's all about stats, and the toxins don't nearly do enough, I believe. I could be wrong though, but I don't think it's really that powerful in arena. In constructed, I think it's really powerful. So yeah, that'll be all for me for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, I'll be back real soon in the next part. This is JP signing out.